The Chase Ink Cash has been getting a ton of hype over the last few months, mainly because of the insane welcome offer that's coming on it right now. Since that offer's been around for quite a while, I'm pretty worried that's not even going to last to the end of the year. So today I'm going to be applying for this card live so we can see how it turns out together. Let's first discuss why I'm adding this card right now so you can get a better understanding of my thought process behind it. As of today, which is December 30th, 2022, you can get 90,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points after spending $6,000 on this card in the first 3 months of having it. For my personal situation, I actually just dropped under 524 on December 20th, 2022. And like I just said, I'm honestly not that sure that this offer is going to last until January of 2023. And since I did just drop under 524, I figured there's no better time to apply for it than now. If y'all watched my last video, you'll know that the Doctor of Credit did drop an article recently stating that the 524 rule was temporarily suspended for all of Chase's Ink business cards through December 31st of 2022. But due to the comments that I've received on that video, it seems like only about 20% of people are actually getting approved while over 524. So what that tells me is that this is probably some kind of soft targeted offer that they're giving certain people, but obviously not a majority of us. But since I am under 524 right now, not only is there no reason for me to not apply for it right now, but I also know that that should not be a reason for me to get denied. And also I have mentioned 524 a few times, and I know I get comments of people asking me what that is. And what it basically states is that if you've gotten 5 or more personal credit cards in the past 24 months, Chase will automatically deny you for the next credit card application you have with them. So obviously it was a pretty cool thing to see that they actually were going to temporarily suspend it, although that's obviously not applying to everybody, which is unfortunate. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and talk about some of my data points at the time of me applying. My last credit card application was in October of 2022 when I applied for the Amex Blue Business Plus, but that is a business credit card, which means it doesn't report to my personal credit. And since it was an Amex business card and I was an existing Amex customer, I was able to get approved for that card with only a soft pull to my credit score, meaning that it doesn't even show up on my personal credit report anywhere. But if we do look over to my Credit Karma, we can see that my TransUnion score is sitting at a 758 with 2 hard inquiries. And then with Equifax, I'm at a 759 with 0 hard inquiries. Now moving over to Experian's website, you can see that I'm at a 741 with Experian and 2 hard inquiries on them as well. For those of y'all that are curious, those 2 hard inquiries that are on my TransUnion and Experian credit report probably came from my Amex Gold card that I applied for back in June, as well as my Citi Custom Cash that I applied for back in April of 2022. Now that we have that covered, let's go ahead and talk about this card in a bit more detail so you can see some of the benefits and perks that come with it. First of all, obviously if you clicked on this video, you probably know this, but this is a business credit card that Chase offers. As I've talked about in a couple of my videos in the past, specifically my credit card roadmap video, you are able to get business credit cards even if you don't have an official business. All you have to do to get one is apply as a sole proprietor using your social security number like normal, and you'll just have to have some expected income outside of your 9-to-5 job and some expected expenses that go towards that business. But this business can really be anything. It could even just be an idea of a business that you have, as long as you can reasonably expect to make some kind of profit from it in the next year. Also, since this is a business credit card, it will not count towards my 524 rule, since that only takes into account personal credit cards. At least that's the case for most lenders. I know there are some lenders out there like Discover, I believe, who have business credit cards that do report to your personal credit, so I would just avoid those if you can. But since I am at 424 as of 10 days ago, the nice thing about this card is that after I apply for it, my 524 status will say exactly the same at 424. That way I can keep gardening my 524 status before I get any more personal cards. If I do add another personal card and get back up to 524, I won't drop back under 424 until August of 2023. And yes, just to clear up some confusion, you do have to be under 524 to get a Chase Ink business card. But like I said, once you add that card, it will not contribute to raising that 524 status at all. So that's what makes now a perfect time for me. As I'm at 424, I can get approved for this card and not have my 524 status increase at all. As for the main perks that come on this card, the first thing to note is that it comes at you with no annual fee. That's a big thing for me right now since I'm still earlier on in my credit card journey, because I want to continue to add as many no annual fee cards as I can to my setup. That way I increase the length of my credit history without having to pay extra for cards every year. As for earning rates, this card is going to give you 5% back on the first $25,000 spent in combined purchases at office supply stores, on the internet, cable, and phone services that you pay each account anniversary year. On top of that, it also gets you 2% back on the first $25,000 spent at gas stations and restaurants each anniversary year as well. And then after that, it gives you 1% back on everything else. It also comes with some other featured benefits, specifically some travel and purchase protections. One of the main ones being the auto rental collision damage waiver, because since the coverage this card provides you is primary, it allows you to go ahead and deny all the insurances that those rental car companies will ask you to add, since it already gives you that through its own insurance basically. And one of the most important factors in why I'm applying for this card, other than the big welcome bonus that it comes with and the 5% cashback categories that I use every day, is the fact that all of the points you earn on this card are Chase's Ultimate Rewards points. That means I can pool all of the points that I've earned on this card onto my personal Chase cards as well. And what I'll be doing is putting all of these points onto my Chase Sapphire Preferred, since that allows me to transfer all my points out to travel partners. So what that does is allow me to raise the floor of what those points that I'm earning on this welcome bonus are worth. I can at least get 25% more value by using these points on my Chase Sapphire Preferred to book travel through Chase's Ultimate Rewards portal. But better than that, since I can transfer them out to travel partners, I conservatively estimate my Chase points to be worth at least 2 cents per point in doing so, which means that this 90,000 point welcome offer is actually going to be worth at least $1,800 to me in free travel with transfer partners. And like I've said time and time again, you can actually get way more value than that depending on the trips that you're booking, but 2 cents per point is a pretty good conservative estimate. So for a no annual fee card that offers me earnings in categories I spend in every single day, as well as $1,800 worth of free travel for just signing up for the card and using it like normal, this is, in my opinion, the best card that you could apply for right now if you do have any kind of business. I just hope again that the bonus hasn't expired by the time I posted this, but I guess you already know that if you're watching. Sorry to interrupt, but it's editing me here once again. Like I feel like I keep popping up in every single video, but today is January 6th of 2023 and the offer is still valid right now. So if you haven't applied for this card yet and are still trying to get it before the offer expires, please check out the links down in my description to learn more about the card and how to apply for it, because in doing so you will help support the channel and get the highest public welcome offer available right now. And while you're down there, you might as well hit like and subscribe if this video has been valuable to you, because it really helps out the channel too. Now go get back to it. Okay, so now it's time to get into the actual application process where y'all can watch me get either approved or denied for this card. So like I said earlier, the best way to find the highest public welcome offer that I've found is to use the links in my description of my videos. And that is sort of a shameless plug, but they actually do have the highest public welcome offers available. So as long as that's what you're looking for, this is a good place to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down into the description of my latest video where you can see that I have the Chase Inc. Cash card linked here. And once I click on that link, it'll bring me to my partnership page with yourbestcreditcards.com. And on this page, we get to see another snapshot of the credit card, all of the benefits and perks that come with it, as well as we can check the welcome offer right here, which is still looking like it's the 90,000 point offer, which is exactly what I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and click on learn how to apply, and that's going to bring me to a new page where I can click on the Inc. Business Cash Credit Card apply now button. Now it's going to take me over to Chase's website where we're actually going to fill in the application. Once again, I can check here that I'm getting the best offer they have, which it looks like I am, and then I'm going to go ahead and click apply now. Okay, now we are on the application screen where I'll walk y'all through that step by step so you can see what to put in to increase the odds of you getting approved. And the first thing it's going to ask you to do is select your officer title. So you can obviously select any of these. For me, I'm going to go ahead and do owner since I'm going to be applying as a sole proprietor. And for those of y'all that know I have an LLC for this channel, you might be wondering why I'm doing this, and I could answer that in a future video, or you could just leave a comment and ask me if you're curious. But after you put that in, you're going to put in all of your personal information like your first and last name, your date of birth, mother's maiden name, which is kind of interesting. And then you'll be able to select here if you want to do your social security or your tax ID number. Like I said, for me, since I'm applying as a sole proprietor, I'll be putting my social security number there. But obviously if you're applying for your LLC or for anything that you have an EIN for, then that's where you put that here. And if I was to click that, it would change this box to the right here, but for my sakes, I'm going to be doing the social security number. And then here, you're actually going to be putting your personal address based on what I saw down below. So once you fill all of that in, you'll put your email address in and then your phone number. And then you get down to the fun stuff where you can put your total gross annual income. Now, even though this is a business application, once again, this is going to be your personal annual income every single year, because down below is where we're going to be putting our business income and our business expenses. Just make sure that in this line, you put the highest amount of income you can while being reasonable with it. Obviously, you want to be as honest as possible, but you do want to round up in many cases. You just want to be able to defend that if you ever had to. So obviously, if you're making $40,000 a year, don't put $80,000 or $100,000. But if you're somewhere between 40 and 50, you might want to put the higher number in that case. Obviously not financial advice. After you put that in, you're going to come down to your business info. And once you get here, the first thing you select is your legal business structure. Obviously here, you're going to have a lot of options. If you have an LLC, you click LLC. For me, I'll be doing a sole proprietorship, like I mentioned once again. And then under that, you'll put your business legal name, which if you're a sole proprietor, that's just going to be your full name. And then after that, you can put your desired business name that will show up on the card. So I don't have any experience with this, but I know with my Amex Blue Business Plus, my name is printed twice on my card, which I've heard is unavoidable with them. But with Chase, I assume I'm going to put my full legal name here, just like I said you need to. And for the desired business name on card, I'm probably going to re-put my name again and just hope that they don't double print it. Maybe that's dumb. I'm not really sure. I guess once I do my unboxing of it, you'll see exactly what the card looks like. But I don't want to put my actual LLC name on this card because at some point down the line, I'm probably going to apply for it for my LLC in particular as well. So to avoid confusion, I'm probably just going to leave this as my sole proprietor card. After that, you'll be able to indicate if your business uses another name like a DBA. I think for most people, that's going to be a no unless you've specifically applied for that. And I think you would know if you did so. And for the tax ID type, you can select the EIN, the ITIN, or the SSN. Since I'm doing a sole proprietor application, I'll be doing my SSN and fill in that here. And then you can say if your business's physical address is the same as your personal address. If you're a sole proprietor, the answer to that is going to be yes. If not, then you might have a different business address, or it might be your personal address as well. That's really depending on how you set it up. As for a number of employees, if you're a sole proprietor, you can see down below, it says to not include yourself. Enter 0 if you're the only employee. So for my case, I'll put 0. But if you have employees and you run a full-on business, then you'll put the actual number of employees there. Then after that, you'll put your business business phone number, which will be my personal phone number in this case. After that, you get to a more fun section where you get to talk about your business. Now here you get to talk about your business established date, which is obviously when you establish your business or first started buying things for your business maybe. Obviously you want this number to be as long as it can be, but again, you don't want to lie on these things so they don't have to come back and reaffirm all of the things you put in here. After you get that date down, you can go ahead and go over to your annual business revenue, which is going to be the big question mark for a lot of people. Once again, you're going to want the highest number here possible while still being reasonable. That's really how these whole business card applications go, or personal card applications for that matter. But my one word of advice here would be that even if you haven't made any money yet, this is going to be your expected annual business revenue. And I would not put $0 because why would they extend you a credit card if you're not going to make any money with your business? They want you to be able to pay your bill off so you spend a lot of money on your cards. So definitely don't put 0 there unless you like absolutely have to for some reason. But again, just be as honest as you can with it. Then for business category, I mean, this doesn't really matter. I think you'll kind of figure out exactly what you need to put here. It just depends on the business. And then once you select one of these, let's just select a random one like retail. Then it will let you select the business type, which you could select from this drop down as well. Pretty self-explanatory there. But once you select one of these, I imagine you can also select the business subtype, which yep, you can right there. And then once you put that in, it'll auto populate this NAICS code, which you don't need to do anything for. And then you can estimate your monthly spend that will be going towards your business. Now, once again, you want to put more than 0 here, but you don't have to get super crazy with it. This is just so they know that you're actually going to be using the credit card. And obviously, like I said before, if you don't use the credit card, then they don't really want to give it to you. That is how the banks make their money. Every time you swipe your cards or use your card and don't pay it off so that you pay them interest. But at the end of the day, you really just want to be putting something on these cards, and that's what they want to see here. Then it'll ask you if you want to add any employee cards. And after that, you can read through the terms and conditions. Once you make sure that's all good, you can go ahead and agree to the above and submit your application. So I'm going to go ahead and run through this on my own, and then I'll update y'all once I'm done with it. Okay, now I'm back for the moment of truth. I've already clicked the I've read and agreed to the above and filled out all my information, checked it over, and now it's time to submit. This is always the most nerve-wracking part, but it is time to click the submit button. I'm going to count down from 3, 2, 1, submit. See what happens. Come on. This takes so long with these things. Don't like this. I don't know why this gets my heart beating so fast every single time, dude. Let's go. Okay, perfect. Well, it looks like I'm approved. Honestly, not a massive credit line at all. I was honestly expecting a lot more than that, and that could prove to be a bit of an issue, mainly because I know we need to hit the $6,000 limit to get the welcome bonus on this card. And I know I have at least one purchase that is going to be about $3,000. So I don't know if I'm going to have enough credit line to be able to do that, but that's a problem for another day, I guess. At least I got the card, and now I can go ahead and start to use it once it does come in the mail. It looks like at this point, I can go ahead and enroll in Chase's business online portal. Even though I already have a personal portal, I guess you do make a Chase business one as well. And then here you get to go paperless and agree to all of the disclosures and agreements. But after that, that should really be it. It should already be added to my account, and I just have to wait for it to come in the mail. And for those of y'all that are curious, it should arrive within 3 to 5 business days, which is great. If you're someone who's interested in seeing how much money I made from my credit cards in the past year, go ahead and watch this video next where I explain that and break it down in detail card by card. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel, and we'll catch you guys next time.